Meantime, the AFC title game runs through Kansas City for a fourth straight season. Bengals beat the Chiefs 34-31 in Week 17 as a 3.5-point home underdog. Now Joe Burrow and the Bengals are 7-point road dogs against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Total 54.5. You both hammered the over last week between the Bills and Chiefs. Thank you. Pete, you look at the total in the AFC title game.
Yeah, I am. I'm taking the over again. I just don't see how these two teams are going to stop each other. I think it's going to go up and down the field. And, you know, we talk about, by the way, I also like the Bengals plus the points. I'm on two plays here. I like both. I think they're going to get a lot of points in this game, and I think the Bengals are going to hang around. You know, you talk about the Bengals and you look at them and you study them and you watch the tape from last week. The offensive line was dreadful, particularly right guard. That was an issue. Left tackle Jonah Williams had a problem as well. But I think they'll be better here. This pass rush isn't as good from the interior. I know Chris Jones is very good. But here's the other thing. Joe Burrow is outstanding when he goes empty. And I know there's a lot of risk in that because you're going 5-on-5 in pass protection or 5-on-4, and that leaves you vulnerable. But he's been great in the empty, and he killed him with it the last time, and I think he's going to kill him here. We saw what the Chiefs' defense was like last week. Anytime they wanted to throw it, and I thought the Bills waited too long, they threw it. Joe Burrow will have success throwing it. The flip side is Patrick Mahomes will have a little more success. I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to stop the Chiefs. I think they're both going to go up and down the field. But in the end, I think the difference will be the Chiefs will hit a late field goal to win it. But I think this is going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring, and it wouldn't shock me to see both teams in the 30s.
And for me in this game, Pete, I'm going to attack one unit, which is a strength, against the other team's weakness, and that would be the Kansas City offense against the Bengals defense. So I'm going to take Kansas City's team total over the number at 31. When you look at the Chiefs, I think what's more remarkable about their performance against the Bills last week is they did everything in that game that everyone criticized them for through the first 7 weeks, saying Patrick Mahomes was reluctant to take what defenses were giving him. He was constantly looking to try and hunt the big play. Well, the exact opposite was true against the Bills' defensive front. He didn't throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield on a single pass attempt. It was dinking and dunking. It was methodical. It was letting his receivers find space to operate. And the reality of it is, when you look at this Bengals defense, I think they're in for a rude awakening. Derek Carr didn't have weapons at his disposal. Ryan Tannehill was downright awful, and the Titans were working with a running back that was a shell of his former self in Derrick Henry. Suddenly, here come the Kansas City Chiefs with a full complement of weapons, both in the backfield with Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and receivers for days, not just Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, but the ongoing emergence of Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, just to name a few. I think this is a Kansas City team who knows they let the Bengals off the deck Week 17. They scored 28 points in the first half and built a 28-10 lead. They mustered a grand total of 3 points after the break because they only had 3 possessions. That's not a luxury the Bengals are going to have in this spot. I think Kansas City goes out there, they score early, they score often, and they do so with an aggressive game plan. I'm taking their team total over. I expect them to get the 35 or more.
All right, let's get your top player prop for the AFC Championship. In their Week 17 game, Jamar Chase set a rookie record with an eye-popping 266 receiving yards. Todd, what's your top prop for the rematch?
So Pete talked about the Bengals and where they have success, and it's with Joe Burrow throwing from an empty set. And I really believe you're going to see an awful lot of that on Sunday. So many people, when I listen to them talk about the Bengals and the key to success in this game are about establishing the run with Joe Mixon. That couldn't be further from the truth. This team can't block for Mixon, and you're not going to go out there against Kansas City and compete if you're kicking field goals, especially when you get into plus territory. Joe Burrow is the face of this franchise and will be going forward. I want to see Joe Burrow throw the ball 40 times at minimum in this spot. Whether it's a short passing game over the middle, getting everybody involved, or taking the occasional deep shot, I think this Kansas City secondary will be better than what we saw the first time around, getting Honey Badger back, assuming he clears concussion protocol, and Rashad Fenton back in the mix after missing the first 2 games. But if the Bengals are playing from behind, it's, again, throw early, throw often. I'm taking Joe Burrow over his pass attempts at 38.5. I wouldn't be surprised, Pete, if he's flirting with 45 or more in this spot.
Yeah, I think he'll throw a lot too, but I'm going to take Joe Mixon total yards over 88.5. I think this is an easy play because I think they're going to get him involved in the passing game. He still will rush for about 60 or 70 yards. This one's going to be easy. They're going to score points, and so you're going to get Joe Mixon involved. So I'll take over total combined yards for Joe Mixon.
Pete, Todd, thank you very much. Appreciate the breakdown here on HQ. Enjoy the games, and you can watch the AFC Championship game on Sunday, 3 Eastern on CBS. You can also watch the game streaming live on Paramount Plus here on CBS Sports HQ. We'll have pregame, halftime, and postgame coverage.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.